Welcome to Hump Day at Horse Racing. Today with myself and charming Charles. We're starting a little bit earlier. I didn't realize Gulfstream Park, because they're only running 8 races today, is going to start a little bit later. So we're going to get a head start on the races today and see if maybe we can get done before they get started. But before we do that, a little bit of bittersweet news. Today is going to be our last day with charming Charles. He's moving on to greener pastures, quite literally. And Charles, tell us a little bit about where you're headed and what you'll be doing and how people can support you in your new endeavor.
Well, I'm going to be heading to Past the Wire Media. They do videos, they do news outlets, and I'm going to be in charge of business development.
Beautiful. So if you have any business you want to develop with Charles, you see his Big Casino Racing at gmail.com. That's how you can get in contact with him. So today, for the last time, Charles, at least for now, we're going to go ahead and go through Gulfstream Park picks. Before we do that, though, free track tonight. Well, yeah, a little later on in the day, Turf Paradise over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There is a link in the description down below. Turf Paradise. I mean, that just sounds like it. Almost sounds like when you die, that's where you're going to go, to Turf Paradise.
Turf Paradise.
Yes, I mean, it would be a great place to go too, right? It says we have a couple more minutes than usual to get started. Our good friend Ronaldo put a nice little story together about how you can prep. Now the Pegasus is a prep for the Saudi Cup. So go read that. Make sure you take a look at that. That's available over at horseracingtoday.net. And while you're there, kindly click on the HRT gear. Everything 20% off for the next couple of days. You can get yourself a wonderful Horse Racing Today shirt, hat, drinking cup, whatever it is that you feel like you would like to have to support the show. We would greatly appreciate that. All right, Mr. Charles, let's go ahead and see if we can. Well, the last couple of days, I feel like the agony of defeat in that old wide world of sports with my horse racing picks, just head over heels, downhill in a bunch of snow, out of control. See if I can get back on the horse, pun intended, today. What's happening in race 1?
6.5 furlongs, main track. Look at that. Maiden claimer 12.5, and this is for 4-year-olds and upward.
Yes, jumping out of the barn with the quality starts, no doubt about that. At 6.5 furlongs on the dirt track in Hallandale, Florida. Speed, baby. 27% of the time, you go right from the gate straight to the winner's circle. Pretty strong rail for last shift. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, a small penalty. So far, nobody's won from 8 or out. Not an issue in the first race, because a couple of scratches. You can see a bunch of numbers here. What we do is 1,000 simulations. We're looking for post-time odds that are higher than our simulation odds. In other words, value, as all those horse players call it. Par plus score tells you what % chance the horse has to run a speed figure above par for this level, which is 78 in this case, about 11% chance for assertive attitude. Also want to know who's going to be on the lead. Again, speed matters at this distance, so get to the front. You have a good chance to win. And based upon our projected pace, which horses are likely to find the tempo to their liking, to the liking of their best performances? Charles, who's got the lead here with the real Rocket Boy scratching out?
Yeah, with the 3 being scratched, boy, it's really left up to anybody that really wants to take the lead. But most likely it's going to be the 1. Does show a little bit more speed, gets the rail today, so that looks like probably the leader at the quarter pole. Simulation odds, we have, the 5 at even money, and we have it slightly over even money on morning lines, so that's not a bad overlay. Same thing with the 7. They're almost identical, even money to just slightly over even money on morning lines. So,
yeah, and as we mentioned, the 7 being the only par plus horse in here, so it's got a chance, and really nobody with a comfort zone above 50. So it could be a testy race for all of them. Looking at our race shape, we do find something interesting in here with the 7 horse being a loney. So far in its limited career, showing it wants to be forward. That's where it's done its best work. The 1 and the 5, well, they want to close. The 2, that one hasn't been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. And the 4, going to give it a go against a relatively weak field in its first attempt. Out of the gates, the 5 and the 7, well, pretty much the 1, 5, and 7, they'll all be duking it out to get started. Looks like the 5 horse has a decided late pace advantage over the 1 and the 7. Top total pay source in here is that 5-horse Charles by 12 points. That's more than 2 lengths, according to this, of a winner. That's probably why you have it as your top choice.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it looks like it's the way the race sets up now. It's helpful for this horse. This horse is this third start after a layoff. Ran second last time out. That has that tactical speed to sit off the whoever wants to take the lead, most likely the one, and just sit there right off of them and make one big move. But the one is going to be dangerous from that rail. The rail does get 28%, like you just said. You got a hot trainer last 14 days with this horse. Totally fits with this group. So look out. It might get loose, but the 7 does have some speed also. So let's worry about the 7 a little bit on the outside. You might want a gun and try to steal it now since the 3's out. Drops in class today. Back on dirt. Luis Saez is aboard. A lot of good combo there. And then the 4, a first timer. Dam has 1 winner from 1 starter, so she's batting 1,000. Bred for this. Looks like it fits this group, but I think the top 2 or 3 are going to be the tough ones.
I'm going to go with the 7, Assertive Attitude. This one is your only class dropper in the field. Last time out, all of the race internals were way better. And if that horse can just duplicate its debut, it's your winner. Awesome First, we saw it had that huge total race advantage in there. Was making up ground last race out when it was running at 6 furlongs. So getting an extra half a furlong today could be the difference. Number 1, Last Shift, better fractions, and that was confirmed by improved pace numbers through the first half mile in its last race. I feel like in this case, going longer actually works to its disadvantage. And I really wanted to put the 4 higher, Charles, because I really don't feel like maybe outside the top 2, and even those included, there's not a lot to beat here, but the works weren't all that inspiring. The trainer doesn't really win at a high rate. The breeding is So it's probably only better than the remaining horse, the 4. And
That's
not
what
the
I
4,
came up with,
the
too.
2.
Yeah, that's what I came up with.
So
Especially
really,
the workouts. The workouts were very sporadic. I mean, it was all over the place.
Yeah, really nothing that really go, hey, that looks like a big number to me. All right, what kind of numbers do we have? Are they running for in race 2?
Well, race number 2, we got a mile and 16th. Of course, we're on that Tapeta. Claiming price of 12.5, purse is 24,000. This is for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races or which have not won a race since August 28th of 23.
So just to answer your question, Emil, we don't do parks on Wednesdays or Thursdays because we made an oath that we would cover Gulfstream during the championship meet. This is when all the top horses go down there, all the top jockeys. It's the best product right now, maybe except for Santa Anita. And even I would still venture to guess that Gulfstream is the best product right now, at least during the championship meet. So that's why we've done that. Mondays and Tuesdays, we'll be back to parks with Terry. So make sure you tune in for that. And tomorrow, Terry and I will do Gulfstream. Today at mile and 16th on Charles's most favorite surface. Stalkers do good. 17% of the time they go wire to wire. The rail's fair. Pluma Roja maybe outrun those 30-1 odds. 2 and 3 get a small bonus. 4 through 7 play fair. 8 and out, they get penalized. Once again, Charles, 10,000 simulations. They'll tell a story. You tell us what it is. If I can pull it up. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. What happened to race 1? Oh, it's all the way over there somehow. All right, race 2. Go ahead.
Where's it at? Okay, there it is. Mm-hmm. Race 2. Well, it looks like once again, the 3 was scratched, and that was the main speed. But the 7 does have some speed, a 23% chance getting that lead at the quarter pole. It could be true, but I say watch out for that 5. Red flag alert. It's going to be alert time. Watch out. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 7. Look at that. Just under 2-1, 15-1 morning line. Big. And then we got the 9 at 5-1 and 12-1 morning line. That's another huge overlay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the 7 horse, along with that huge overlay, the only par plus horse in the field. Would have liked to seen a stronger C zone, but you got the 1 over here pretty aggressively. Should like the pace as well as the 5, that red flag alert, and then the favorite in there. Caratano also should enjoy the tempo on this hump day. our pace setup. That 5-horse comes back up again. Red flag alert. Lone E. We saw a bunch of Lone E's at good prices yesterday, including one in the second race. Went off. Didn't get to the lead, but still won. And it was what, a 44-1 horse, 41-1. So let's see if maybe Red flag alert can repeat what the 3 did yesterday. Otherwise, everybody wants to be middle or back. I know it's favor stalkers, but in this scenario, up front could be the good place to be. And we have Backwoods Boogie, a 4-horse, which is a left arrow horse, normally a closer that does have enough early speed today to be in contention right off the get-go. Another left arrow horse in Officer Country. So kind of reversed roles here in terms of who's going to be where. Our late speed goes to the 8-horse, the lone pressure closer type, Cartano. A little bit of more late speed than Sir Terre. And really not a big difference, though, except for maybe Pluma Roja, the red pen. Finally, our top total pace horse, again, about 75% of the time, the winner is coming out of the top 4. Backwoods Boogie. There you go, Charles. That one is the top total pace horse, about 4 points clear of anybody else. We both settled on the 8 and kind of pushed the 4 down a bit.
Yeah, I mean, this was an interesting race, actually, but I like, the 8, and this horse drops in class today. The trainer gets 28% when he drops him down 2 levels or more. Second start after a layoff. Trainer also gets 24%, and they add it all up, and you got Paco aboard. So really, really tough here. The 6 is my second choice. This horse ran even last time, drops in class, has that tactical speed to sit really close to the pace. And then the 4 ran second last time, well bet last time, and another one that has that tactical speed and probably overall numbers looks like really good and keeps them in contention. And then the 5, my final choice, does have the speed to go out there, might try to steal it, drops in class, trainer gets 14% with 46 plus days of rest.
Yeah, I agree with you, Scary. This card is kind of looks like the favorites are going to win, but then again, those favorites really aren't what I would call
strong favorites.
Yeah, a lot of holes in their game, absolutely for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cartano has a really good chance because it is a class dropper in here. Scenario is that it likely increases its ability in the second race after a layoff. At least that's what the resume says. I do like the fact that it has a pair of Stephen Covey saw sharpening works between races. And then if you just kind of dig through the all-weather performances, this one does have the best all-weather back class. So if it can live up to its ability, should have the best chance to win. Number 7, Officer Country. There's that huge overlay, Charles. The most green here for the par plus. Really good shot to be on the front. And really, as I mentioned about the 8-horse, the 7-horse has the strongest numbers, I feel like, in the race for the synthetic surface. A horse can be really aggressive early or aggressive late. So far, it hasn't put A plus B together to equal C plus, the Pythagorean theorem, the only thing I remember from geometry right in there. But if you can connect the front to the back today, should live up to that overlay and could win at a big price. Red flag alert, the horse that came up so many times in our simulations and pace settings, is a class dropper. First race since December 28th, so first time it's coming out in 2024. The first up records, he either does really good or not so good at all. So if we get the really good version, maybe he can be that lone E, steal this race on the front. And then finally, Backwoods Boogie is that left arrow horse I talked about. Does have some of the most late pace in the field. I just don't know how fast this race is going to be to give him something to run into. I don't have any bets here, Charles, for me in race number 2.
But I just started with a small pick 4. I took all my picks in this race. I think it's really wide open. And, and I did my top 2 picks, and then I have a single, and then I go my top 3 picks.
So Max Negron telling us, look out for a horse from Puerto Rico called Sugar Boy. He's a good horse, and he's going to run soon. So put that in your DRF or wherever it is that you have your horses to watch. I'm going to write it down myself. I'm going to screenshot this and come back to it. Thank you, Max. And if, like Max, you have any ideas, you get your ears to the ground, you've heard something, you want to let us know about it, or you just have a great angle on something that's in play today, any track today, let us know in the comments section. We greatly appreciate it. And while you're here, Kindly hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social sites, scrolling down there below. Our good friend Swiss Army Sean does a great job of keeping folks up to speed what's happening in the horse racing world on our social sites. Let's see, Charles, if we can be up to speed on race number 3 in terms of our handicapping skills.
Well, another mile and a 16th on Tapeta. Maiden claiming 12.5. Purse is 22,000. This is for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward.
Yeah, maiden claiming 12.5, 2 out of the first 3 races. Maybe we should have done Parks, Charles. The mile and a 16th again does favor stalkers. The 17% of the time, the horse that gets the lead at the quarter-mile marker continues to hold it all the way to the photo. Rail plays fair. Then the 2 and 3, a small bonus. 4 and 7, a little bit closer to fair. And then 8 and out, a little bit of penalty. Charles, so tactical speed in the 3rd race in this 8-race card can get the job done. And finally, looks like the horse with the most early speed hasn't scratched out.
Yeah, with the 26% chance of getting lead is that 3 at the quarter pole. So, has an excellent shot at it. And I believe it will, has an excellent shot too. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 1 at 7-1. We have 15-1 morning line. That's a good little overlay. Then they have the 5 at just slightly under 3-1. We have 8-1 morning line. So that's pretty good.
We get an interesting name to a horse. I tried selling her. Who is he trying to sell? All right. It's a pretty balanced race in here, with the exception of the 6, Zulibella. That one has not been within a handful of lengths to whoever's won when it's raced. So maybe you can put an X through that one and cut it down to a 6-horse field. If you're looking for some early speed, a 2 and a 3, those are the 2 that look like they should be out front where they want to be. The 3 has a decided early race advantage, approximately 2 lengths better than the next closest horse. Shouldn't have to work very hard to clear the 2 or the 1. So the 3 should set the tone when the gates open and the Tapeta starts flying silently. Of course, they've told us, the jockeys, that really quiet out there on the Tapeta. Starship Sigrun, about a length and a half quicker than anybody else coming down the stretch. Really though, it could be all the way in the trail position. So really not enough late pace to make up for the gap that it has behind some of these other horses in front of it. Going to have to probably move a little closer to the front today to take advantage of its late race ability, although does have the 2nd best total pace. But again, pretty tight race. Sans the 3 horse, who's going to try to get out to the lead, it looks like, and hold on at the end. Charles, can it do it?
Well, I don't know, but I like the 4's chances here. Drops in class, getting a 7-pound weight break. I think that's main key here. Trainer gets 11%, 90-plus days of rest. You got a super fresh horse here. And it does have that tactical speed to go at them, keep close and go at them at the end. The 7 ran even the last 2 times, drops in class. Trainer gets 18% when it's down 2+ levels, tries longer today. So it looks pretty good. And then the 3, like we just been talking about, ran even last time, 2nd time Lasix. Like that angle. It's got the speed. Paco's aboard, so look out. And then the 2 ran 3rd last time, 2nd start after a layoff. Trainer gets 13% with that angle. We have Tyler Gaffleon aboard.
I'm going to start with the 4-horse 2, interestingly, Charles, that we both landed there. I'm going to take a chance because the horse on 3 of its 4 all-weather races would probably be good enough to beat this field in here. Shopping at Bloomies, the 2-horse, I'm not big fan of the odds there, but just missed in its race last out. Held the lead into the lane. Does have a workout between races, but horse has had 2 second starts after a layoff recently, and in both cases regressed. I don't think regression would help that horse here. I think it needs to move forward. Starship Sigrin, the 5-horse, the 3rd pick for me, Charles. This is a horse, when you just look at its progression from race to race to race, it's just steadily getting better and better and better. Last time that proved to be true, running a little bit faster fractions, and did qualify for the top last race speed figure with a 3-point clearance over the next closest horse. Again, Andrew Beyer in his book says that's one of the keys that you're looking for. Finally, Rita Marley, Paco on top of the top total pace horse by 4 points, so almost a full length. Really aggressive early speed advantage, and Paco's going to try to take advantage of that. That horse is going to get out. Paco's pretty good with the timer in his head, so hopefully he doesn't do like a horse I picked yesterday at 1.70 miles at Parks, go out in 23 and then 24 in the second half, and just watch that horse walk in to the finish line. Paco, don't do that. $5 exacta key 4 over the 2, the 3, and the 5. Charles.
Paco's got a lot of live mounts today. It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm. Guy, the bug is on the 4, but only one route. Is he really going to outride Paco and company? Probably. I don't know. He may or may not.
We're like, we don't know if that weight might be the difference.
Well, they say 5 pounds is roughly 1 length.
Yeah.
Right. So you got 7 pounds. So you're catching close to a length and a half on that. And that's a pretty big difference. So as long as the jockey doesn't get him in trouble along the race, the horse should do most of the work.
The sad part is when you get the pounds off, you got a rookie. So
some of them are excellent and some of them aren't, right?
I think he should make the move early and try to get the early step on them. So down the lane. So that's how.
For me, the difference was that Tapeta horses either like it or don't like it. There's really no in between, and this one seems to prefer that surface. But I agree, and I think it's symptomatic of the entire card today, where you can pretty much make a case up and down for most horses in the race, and you're probably better off just, if you like 3 horses, pick the one with the highest odds in every single race, and see if you cash 1 out of 3 and come home with a profit.
Yeah.
Race 4 is another chance to try to find a winning ticket, Charles, and this one won't be on the all-weather; it'll be on the grass.
That's right. 7.5 furlongs, kind of an odd number. On the turf, claiming price is $35,000. Non-winners of 2 lifetime. Purse is $36,000 for fillies, mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
So if you look over here on the diagram of the track where they're going to start, and you see that turn immediately come out of the gate and hit the left turn like NASCAR. Or do they turn right, Charles? I don't remember. You're in the race. So they turn left, right?
You got it right. Yeah.
They're always turning left. So come out of that gate, they turn left immediately. When I see that, I instantly think, well, you better have some early speed. And indeed, that is the bias for 7.5 furlongs, because 32% of the time, so nearly 1 out of 3 goes wire to wire. There is a rail bonus, so that inside speed on that turn can get an advantage if you have it. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, a penalty. So you don't want to be those middle horses. It looks like if you're 8 or out, you can kind of head down to the rail and save some ground, because they've performed very well. A little bit of a bonus, actually. So in race number 4, Charles, do we find some inside speed that can take advantage of its post position?
Well, there's actually plenty of speed in here, but the 6 has got 23% chance of getting that lead. I think so, but I say watch out for the 3. The 3's got an excellent shot at getting that lead also, and it's got a 13% chance on according to our board there. Simulation odds. We have the 1 just slightly under 5-1. We have 12-1 morning line. That's a nice little overlay. And then we have, the 3, 4-1, 5-1 morning line. Not too bad. And then that's it. That's what we got.
Got a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 7. Par plus superfecta there yesterday at Parks, the biggest trifecta of the day. If you had just taken the top 4 par plus horses, I think it was in the last race, 6, 7, and 8, they came in like that. I think the 50-cent try paid $300. So if that works out, I don't know that you're going to get that here with these 4 horses, but got some strong C-zone numbers as well. This race, Charles, is another one that just all the math here says it should be very competitive. So maybe we can find somebody with a little bit of an in-race edge. 1, 2, 3, 7. They want to be up front, Charles. So better be the speed out of that crew. It does look like actually is. And the good news is the other horses that are to its inside really should not be able to keep up. So actually could prove to get to the front as the speed of the speed. Coming down the stretch, the Lone P could sit behind his wall of speed and then use his late legs to get around them at the finish line to be your winner. Also competitive in terms of top total pace. It is by 1 point. The 4 and the 7, Charles, they're clear of the 2-horse, and then that one's clear of the 3. So maybe at 2, 4, 7 exacta trifecta box. What do you think? Oh,
Yeah,
there you
two
go.
for
You got that
17.
exactly. Well,
Yeah. But I got the 2 on top, and I just like the way it's setting up for this horse. I really do. This horse is dropping in class. First, you got to toss out the last race. When you do, this horse is right there. Second start after a layoff, trainer gets 22% with that angle. Cuts back in distance today. This is the key. Going to 7.5. I think that's the perfect key here. Jose Ortiz is aboard, and I just like everything about it. Like I said, how it's setting up for the 2, and then the 4 is my second choice. Tactical speed. I think this one could sit anywhere it wants, really. Well bet last time. Drops in class today. Irad's going to be aboard. Is it going to be an Ortiz brothered exacta? Maybe. The 7, third start after a layoff. Another one that has some of that tactical speed. Drops in class. Hot jockey trainer combo in the last 14 days. And then there's the 3 is my last choice there. This one does have some speed and drops in class, cuts back in distance. Tyler Gaffleone is aboard.
You're going to put half of your budget on the Paul Blart horse to win, huh?
Yes, I am, because I just like the way it's all setting up. And even if it's going to be the favorite, I see it's going to be closer to 2-1 if it's going to be a favorite.
Christopher D'Souza in the 4, likes the 6, Seeking by the Storm. And we had a pretty interesting one up here. A lot of pictures online I saw last night from all the fireworks in the sky, compliments of Mother Nature with the lightning. It was quite the show in Chicagoland last night. You know, this time yesterday it was like 75 degrees outside. Today it's like 15. It's Chicago weather. And then on the weekend again, it's supposed to be in the 70s. So I don't know. Crazy weather. In any case, I want to. So Brian, are you in the U.S.? We're not going to. If any of the races are running while we're on, we will announce the races as we're on for sure. And which one are we taking to the bank, Rob? I want to know. I'm going to go with the 4-horse. I seem like I have the 4-horse in every race. I should have worn my number 4 hat from our horse racing today gear, but the 4-horse for me, Charles. Busy morning. Did run the top last race. Speed figure. Going to drop in class. Second at this level a couple of races ago, and this is one from the extra distance today. Should benefit. Out of nothing at all, the 1-horse, a little bit of a bomb, Charles, but not according to the sim odds. It's taking a pretty good sized drop in class. In fact, it's the lowest level of this horse's career. James Toner, the trainer, doesn't do too many into first-time claiming ranks, but he's done it 7 times so far in 2024 and came home with the top prize in 4 of them. So he's got an eye when to drop. Chicken Parm, Charles, that's the one you put half of your budget on. The first 2 races on turf were really good. The debut would probably smash this field, especially if it gets up to the front. No question about that. My concern is this horse wants the lead. And as you can see, he's going to get plenty of competition for it. And when challenged for the lead, it's faded. So if it can get clear by a length or so, confidence will grow for Chicken Parm, making Paul Blart very happy. And then finally, number 3, well, actually, if the speed matters, this one has a really good shot to be the pace setter. Been off since December. The trio workouts are okay, so the horse should be fit, ready to run, and perhaps can do the I think they can get hot up front, Charles, and maybe open up the door a little bit for a horse that comes from off the pace. Today is a busy morning day. Yeah, that is a busy morning today. She loves the turf. Today is a busy morning day. Oh, the 4-horse. Okay, fantastic. I agree with you on that one. So we're going to take that one to the bank. 60 to win on the 6 in race number 4. Well, if you didn't hear, unfortunately, Christopher, today is Charles' last day with us, so we can't do a Starbucks bet. I'd love to do that, but unfortunately, not in the cards today. Next up in the cards for us is race 5, beginning of the back or the late pick 4, Charles, and again staying on staying off the Tapeta just to make you happy.
Just to make me happy today. 6.5 furlongs, claiming price $62.50. Non-winners of 3 lifetime. This is for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
And you better have that gas when the gates open, because a big number, almost 3 out of 10, win wire to wire. Pretty strong rail bias. So this runs for you. Could do a little bit better than those 6-1 odds. 2 through 3, play fair. 4 and 7, small penalty. So far, nobody, Charles, who's worn that pink 8 or that blue 9 or the purple 10 or any number higher than that has come home the winner yet, Charles. So inside speed, 100% the key to winning race number 5. And woo, we got somebody that's got some giddy up and go when the gates go open.
But there is plenty of get up and go in here, period. But the 2, 52% chance. That's how I see it. This is the one. This is your leader at the quarter pole at least. But that horse will be pressured by a lot of horses, like the 8 and the 4. So for sure, those other two horses would be pushing that horse along big time. When it comes to simulation odds, the 3 slightly over 2-1. We have 4.5-1 morning line. That's not too bad. We got the 7 just under even money, and we got 2-1 morning line. Not too bad there either.
The 2 overlays, both of them about a 20% chance to run a speed figure, at least according to our 10,000 simulations, over par, which in this case would be an 85 speed figure. So 1 out of 5 chance they get that done. The horses that should be most comfortable with the pace are Scaramanga and then Cross Haste. So Cross Haste, a couple green boxes in here. Maybe that's the one to beat, Charles. Our pace setup will give us some more clues. Again, most people want to be middle back. This should favor horses with early speed at a distance and surface that favors early speed. That means Golden Skull and Scaramanga, they get out to that front, Charles. They could be dangerous because everybody else is more comfortable being middle back. Means their ability to win probably goes higher. Cross Haste, Warlord Cruzan, a bunch of horses in here with some late pace. And you got a handful of them that are within a length of each other. Kind of a drop off here. So Golden Skull with all that early speed is going to have to save some a little bit early to have some at the end. Our top total pace horse in there is that 7 again, Charles, followed by Warlord Cruzan. You got 4 of them in here, the 2, 4, 7, and 8. A few points better than everybody else. Once again, those green guys might make a good exacta trifecta box, Charles.
Could, yeah. The only thing I don't have is the 8 in there, but I like the 4 here. This one has that tactical speed. I think this one will be sitting off probably about third, sitting third pretty much all the way around, and then hit it at the end. Paco's aboard. What else do you want? Trainer gets 33% when he drops him after a win. So guess what? That means that horse won last time. Mm-hmm. So this horse has got a couple of things going for it. The 3 tactical speed. This horse could sit about 4th or 5th. Same thing. It's going a little longer today. And trainer gets 16%. At 46 plus days of rest. The trainer also gets 24% first after a claim. And then the 7, probably the most undecided. I can't figure this horse out. Is it this? Does it do that? The 7 ran even last time, drops in class. The trainer gets 28% second after a claim. I personally think this one will be closing at the end and let's see how much of a kick this horse really has. And then the speed, I think, is the 2. Ran second last time out. Tyler Gaffleon's going to try to steal it, but I think the 4 could catch it. But when I do my pick 4 here, I'm taking all 4 of these horses. I'm not trusting any one of them. My top 3 horses in the second leg, same thing with the third leg, and then my final 4th leg, top 2 picks.
Charles, I'm going to go with the 4 horse. Every now and then I talk about trainer intent, and I think the trainer intent for David Carlos is abundantly clear here. 2 races ago, let's just pull this up on the screen. He bought this horse in a 62.5. That's where we are today, right? Claimed, boom, 62.5. Yep. Then they ran the horse and claiming $16,000. They won that race.
That's a huge jump up in class, by the way.
Big jump up in class. I don't know what the purse was in that race, but I'm going to guess it was greater than 16,000. But let's just say it was 16,000, Charles. So they got 60% of that. So the horse basically gets $9,000 off of that win, and they paid 62.5 for him. If the horse gets claimed today, win or lose, it's going to get another 62.5, right? So that would be $15,500 on something they paid 62.5 for. But today's purse is $19,000. So they go ahead and collect that. That's roughly another $10,000. That horse were to win today, you're looking at it and get claimed $25,000 that they would make
Mhm.
on that horse in a couple of races. And you notice here who the trainer and owner is? David
Yeah.
Carlos. I think the trainer intent is I got what I want out of this horse. I'm going to make plenty of money if it wins. I'm going to drop it. I don't care if I lose it because I'm going to turn 6,000 into 25 grand if it wins in just a couple of weeks. That's can David Carlos find me a 62.5 and do that for me in the next couple of weeks? I would greatly appreciate that. How about you, Charles?
Yeah, no doubt. And and you only got basically not even really a month of training bills there. So yeah, you're gonna profit for sure, at least like you said, 24 to 25,000 in your pocket.
Making a ton of money. And what's even more interesting about that, Charles, this is not the first time he's done this. He's dropped a horse off a win like that 48 times and 16 of them. So 33% of the time he won on the big drop. So trainer, he's here to win this race, Charles.
Yeah,
And if
I
the
agree.
horse gets claimed, he's happy. If the horse doesn't get claimed, he probably does it again next time out.
Yeah.
Golden Skull, the 2 horse, is your potential pace setter in here, Charles. And it's happy the sun is out and the track is fast and firm, because when he gets a fast, firm track, 4 races, 2 wins, 2 seconds. Cross Hate, this one is making a start at the lowest level of its career. This is the proper distance for this horse, this weird 6.5 furlongs. He's ran it 4 times, 2 wins in a second, nothing else. He's tried something else 11 times and only finished second once. I mean, that's really peculiar, no?
Yeah.
Dream Night, this horse is making its first start since December the 1st. History says this horse, really good chance to fire in the first race out of the box. I'm going to do a pick 4. I'm going to invest in David Carlos today. I'm going to single the 4, Charles. 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 2, 7 with the 2, 6, 7, 10. That guy hits. It's going to be a decent price in there, right?
Decent. I mean, you're not going to be the favorite, but yeah, it won't be bad.
Buenos Tardes, indeed, Pedro Henriquez, to you as well. Only knock on the 4 is Brisnet. Top is only 78. Did not make him. That's true. Number 3 and 7 have much faster times, according to Brisnet. I agree with you on that for sure. There's no doubt about it. You never know, though, today if he's going to have the if he's on the better food regimen.
In the dropping class, though, sometimes just gets that little extra umph out of them. I don't know what it is, but it really does.
Or maybe they're just facing softer horses, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if I race a one-legged person versus a two-legged person. It might be a race I actually can win. All right, let's go off to race number 6. 3 more to go. I don't know. I think we're probably going to be done before the first race, Charles, but we go back to your favorite surface.
Yep. Tapeta, 5 furlongs, claiming price of 35,000. Non-winners of 2 life. This is for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 2 races.
And on these short sprints, even though it's Tapeta, you better be fast. A bunch, 38%. Get to the front. They never see the backside of another horse. Wine Empire, a little bit of a rail bonus, but maybe not enough for it to outrun Peter Aiello's 20-1 morning line odds. 2 through 7, they get discounted. 8 and out is the best place to be, Charles, in race number 6. We don't go that far out, but we do have one on the inside that does have plenty of juice.
Yeah, the 2. 58% chance of getting the lead at the quarter pole. And probably most likely is going to do it. I would say the only horse I would be scared of, it would be the 4. Might have a chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 at just slightly over 3-1, and we have 8-1 morning line. That's a good little overlay. And then we have the 4 at just under 2-1, and we have 4.5-1 morning line. Not too bad either. And then finally we have the 7, just over 5-1, and we have a 12-1 morning line, which is very good.
And we have a Gringo horse today, Charles. 3-0. A lot of green boxes across here. Good shot to be forward. Strong C-zone. Good par plus number. And a overlay. Those horses tend to perform exceptionally well, except yesterday at Parks. They all kind of stumbled along. Everybody wants to be middle forward. Boy, if Wine Empress had any kind of late speed, that horse could be really dangerous, because these guys might all get up and get after it, because you're going to see that all of these numbers are pretty tight in here, Charles, within 6 points of one another, meaning that a misstep, 3 wide trip, a little bit of traffic could be the difference between being the front runner and being in the back with Wine Empire. So I wouldn't be shocked to see this one go a little bit fast today, especially at 5 furlongs. Late speed could be where this horse races won. Grimes has a pretty good late speed, along with Sergeant Sinatra, Old Blue Eyes, our good friend Terry. And then our late pace here, Terry, our total pace, Charles is going to show us a highly competitive race. A 2-horse with all that early speed better save a little bit, according to our top total pace scores here. Charles, you think the 5-horse is going to get the job done?
Yeah, the way it's setting it up, I like the 5's chances here. Has that tactical speed, could sit. It's cutting back in distance. Third start after a layoff. Trainer gets 20% with that angle, which is Mike Maker himself. So got a lot of good connections there and everything going right. The 2 is my second choice. Ran second last time out. Trainer gets 14% when he goes from turf to dirt. And Jose Ortiz is aboard. And, this horse has got that tactical speed to sit right there and try to pounce. Either A, take the lead and run away, or I think he's got enough there to even sit second if he had to. So the 6 is my third choice. Ran second last. Excuse me. Let me backtrack there. Second start after a layoff. Trainer gets 19% with that angle. You got a hot jockey last 7 days. Another one with some tactical speed. Probably more on the closing side of it, but the 4 ran third last time out. I think he's got that sneaky speed. Look out. Trainer gets 21% from turf to all weather. Paco's aboard. And then, Rich, open up that wallet. I think this horse has more of a future than the rest of them. I think this horse could even go longer at one point. So I think it'd be a good play.
I'm going to go. I have all 4s today, Charles, man. I'm going to go at 3-0 as my horse here. I think the speed could be there for this horse, Charles, as we see.
You should claim it.
Yeah, well, hasn't done the all-weather thing yet. So that's my only concern right here. But, man, back to trainer David Carlos. He hits 21% of the time when he takes a horse off the turf and throws it on the synthetic. And when he teams up with Paco Lopez, they don't do that a whole lot. But when they do, in the 11 times they've been together, they won 6 of them. Dynamic duo. Though Paco wins a lot, no matter who he rides for. Grimes, the 5-horse. I'm not a fan of those 7-5 odds, but I am a fan of the fact that he does have the best all-weather numbers. But I'm going to try to beat him with that Quattro. Frisson, that 2-horse, really good shot to get onto that front. Does have that strong C-zone. We've seen that combination grow in confidence as the race goes on. He tried all weather in his debut and won that race with ease. And the next 3 races, for whatever reason, the trainer put the horse up on grass, said, you know what? Maybe it's an all-weather horse. Let's go back to where he won with his ease. And then finally, the 3-horse, Sterling Harmony. A little bit of an overlay there, Charles. Also, tough call for me with that in Dropkick Murphy. But I'm going to take the higher odds and a horse that last time out ran the top last 3 speed figure by 4 points. Maybe I should move him up my rankings a little bit, and is dropping in class. No bets for me. Let's rewind back here a little bit to a question that we had down here where Pedro wanted to see a pick 4. So in race number 2, you have a pick 4, Charles, right there. 4, 5, 6, 8 with the 4, 7 with the 2 over to 3, 4, 7. Did you do one in race 5? There you go. We both had pick 4s in race number 5. So Pedro, screenshot that, or when the show's over, I will go back and put the times in the description of when each race starts. You can come back then and review it as well. Race 7, our good friend Christopher D'Souza going with the 7, the 3, and the 2. And what were race 6? Excuse me.
Race 6,
we haven't gotten there yet. It's jumping in front of us. Rich, you pick the 4-horse every race. You should go to horse tourneys and play go. I'm actually going to think about doing that if we get out of here soon enough. I'm going to be that guy that goes 4, 4, 4, 4. And everybody's going to be like, look at that jackass. He just did 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. You know how many times I see people randomly pick just one number across and still win? It's unbelievable. I think you've probably seen that too, Scary Creations, and you're just like shaking your head when you lose to that guy.
Yeah, when you lose that guy, that's when you shake your head.
Yeah. Race 7, 2 to go. The beginning of the late daily double. Charles, what are the conditions?
A very interesting race, 1.5 miles on the turf. optional claiming of 35,000, non-winners of 1. The purse is 91,000. So this is for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 12,000 since the once other than maidens, claiming, starter, restricted, or which have never won 2 races or claiming price of 35,000.
So as you can imagine, they don't really run a whole lot of these races at a mile and a mile and a half, Charles. That's a long way to go.
Yes.
So they've done 4 of them. It's a 3-turn race you can see here. So they're going to come around 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, come back. Fitness in these races is key because going around those 3 turns does put a lot of pressure on the horse's tightness, so to speak. So the 4 that they've run, 3 of them were won by closers. The other one went wire to wire, Charles. The rail has outperformed most other positions in there. So far, 8 and out, hasn't been able to score. A little bit of fairness between 2 and 7 in those 4 races, but really that data is kind of meaningless. Charles, if early speed's going to get the job done, going to make it 2 out of 5 wire to wire, looks like there's one of them with the best chance to make that happen, although everybody has some chance to be on the front.
They all kind of do, but I think all kind of more willing to let someone else do it. And I think it will be the 2 at 51% chance of getting that lead at the quarter pole. I mean, the 7 might want to go with him a little bit, but I really do see the 2 doing it. When it comes to simulation odds, we have the 3 at just under 4 to 1. We have 15 to 1 morning line. Not too bad. And then we have the 7. We have it just under 2 to 1, and we have 6 to 1 morning line. And then that's it. Oh, yeah, the 10. I knew there was one more. It's 5, just under 5 to 1. We have 15 to 1 morning line.
You got the 2, the 3, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 10, half of the field, the ability to get a par number above 93. So some horses may be sitting on big races today there, Mr. Charles. As far as our Harry Hood is another gringo horse. Every box in there green with the overlay. So again, keep an eye on those horses. They tend to outperform. Our race shape, in the beginning is really not going to mean a whole lot. You can kind of see that here. Everybody wants to close, be middle or back. So maybe if you do have a little bit of early race advantage, you could get away with some soft fractions and then perhaps steal this race on the lead, make it 2 out of 5. Utah Beach, a little bit of an edge over Swore. But again, really, plenty of them should be right on, tucked into each other. They'll be battling for position early on. They won't come out of the gates fast. If anybody tries to go out and steal it, they got to be careful that they don't run too fast because they'll definitely tire in the mile and a half race. Junipero Serra, that one has the most late speed, along with Rock the Stars, that overlay there, Charles. This race will be won in that sprint to the finish line. If you're going to do a top total pace play, you got 3 of them are a little bit better than everyone. Just take the even number horses, the 2, the 4, the 8, maybe toss the 8, 9 out, put the 6 in there. You can go all evens and do a superfecta box for a dime. Charles, what do you think?
It's going to be a cavalry charge. I don't know. That's what I think. If the 2 sets, okay fractions, they're still going to come at him. So I have it the 8 as my top choice. The old timer here, this horse has got tactical speed, but more on the closing side. Trainer gets 26% first after a claim. Fits with this group, and guess who's aboard again? Paco. Like I said, he's got a lot of live mounts today. Another one that's going to be closing. Christopher Clement gets 20% with 46 plus days of rest. Irad's aboard, so we already know that's dangerous. And then the 2, I think this horse can hang on for a piece of the pie with its speed. Ran second last time, second start after a layoff. Well bet. Jose Ortiz is aboard, so look out. And then the 6, third start after a layoff. Grand Motion gets 15%. This horse at that angle. This horse is going to be closing. It looks like it totally fits, and Grand Motion always sends them out ready to rock and roll. They're always fit, so look out for that one too.
I'm going to go with that speed horse. I'm going to take Utah Beach. I'm going to see if they can make it 2 out of 5. This is another one of those horses that's improving from race to race to race to race. The second up, according to the CV, will be better than the first up. And the extra distance, I think, really works to its benefit. Harry Hood, the 7 horse, my next choice. The best race that this horse ever ran came at Gulfstream Park, came on the turf, came at 1.5 miles. All that happened despite early race problems. Charles, no early race problems today. Harry Hood might live up to the favorite status it had. Henley's Joy. All right. This is the one that probably going to take on the most money. Did run the top last race speed figure. I think they want to get it by 4 points. So, that 3-point clearance I'm looking for. Has a 3 furlong bullet workout sense. Kind of meaningless, as you've mentioned before, Charles. Any horse can do a 3 furlong bullet. Indication to me, though, that in this race, they want to get out a little bit quicker today. Horses won a ton of money, over $1.2 million, I think, if I remember correctly. Has run in graded stakes races. This is just not the right distance. It's run it 4 times and has not hit the board yet. I just feel like it's facing the lightest class it has at this level, at this distance. So maybe takes a piece at the end. And then I'm going to go with Champagne Juan, the 1 horse. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, Charles, because I find a lot of times I have. But why does Irad get off the 8, Henley's Joy, the favorite, the post-time favorite, the morning line favorite, to ride the 1 horse when last time he rode both horses? And it's not like, I know he's riding for Clement on the 1 horse. I think he's ridden 5 times for Clement. And then on the other horse, I think it's Safi Joseph, right? Yeah. He's run 3 times with Safi. So it's not like he's the everyday first call rider for either one of those. I got a feeling he thinks the 1 is better than the 8.
He might. There's so many different angles on this one. Who knows? I don't know. That could be true too. Yeah.
Yeah, that to me, that was why I put that in there. I just, I saw that. I'm like, why? And especially when you look at like the speed numbers in here, right? They just kind of don't fit with the other horses. So, Irad doesn't usually take mounts he doesn't have a chance to win on, I don't think, right? I don't think his agent, because the way guy wins, they put him on horses that don't have a chance for the sake of riding for somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know. This one definitely by far the class of the race. I agree with you on that. This is the easiest field he ran against in a long time. I was definitely thinking about that too, but it's kind of hard to back him off of this race. I don't know what happened here right there, but that race just at the distance. I mean, he was 11th of 11th the whole way through.
And he was a 35-1 shot. So
something's wrong.
I don't know. And Jose rode it. I don't know. Mike Maker, he's still an excellent trainer. So
why do you go from a grade 3, right? Value. Let's talk about why do you go from a grade 3 to an optional claiming 35 and put him in for a price?
Well,
you want to sell him.
Exactly. That's what you want to do. You want to sell. And if you really look at those last 3 races, they weren't the best. And the horse is 8 years old. And Mike Maker's probably thinking, you know what? The guy's done his time. He's given us his best already. He's got no more best left. So let's get rid of him.
Well, if he happens to win and he happens to get claimed, it's going to make damn close to $100,000 on the day, right?
Yeah.
But has anybody really? I just
no one's going to claim that horse.
I don't think so either, Charles.
No.
All right. Unfortunately, Charles, for the last time, we're going to go off to race number 8. And in poetic justice, we're going to end on your favorite surface.
Oh, Tapeta, 5.5 furlongs. And it's a maiden claiming 25,000. Purse is 32. This is just for 3-year-olds, though.
You're laughing out loud. Yeah. That's pretty interesting stuff right there. All right, Charles. So 5.5 furlongs on the all-weather. You're going to go fast if you're going to win. In fact, 1 out of 2 horses gets the lead and never gives it up. So if you can pick the horse that has a chance to get to the lead and it has better, if you pick the horse that gets to the lead and it has odds that are higher than 1-1, it's a good bet. Just from a probability standpoint, it's a bet you got to make. There's a small rail bump, so Zainino going to take over that rail position with the 1 scratching out of this race. 2 and 3 get a little bit of discount. 4 through 7. They are fair. 8 and out's the best place to be. Charles, unfortunately, because there's so many, there was supposed to be a lot of first-time starters before they all scratched out. So I didn't run any of the simulation data. I'm going to go ahead and go first on my picks, Charles, because I'm going to give you the floor on your last day. And, like in golf, they let the champ putt out at the very end of the tournament. So for me, Ziano, the resume says the second up will rise well above the first race after a layoff. Last was on par for this level. The horse is taking a class drop and has a workout between races. So if he improves at all, we'll run a speed figure above par. Parakeet, the 6th horse. This one is the maiden special weight dropper. Any second race improvement for this one would be enough versus any other horse in this race. Somewhere in time, the 10 horse, man, I really wanted to rank this one higher. Has some splendid workouts, Charles. Really good breeding. But if you feel like you got a good horse, why are you debuting maiden claiming 25, especially with some of those workouts? Why not give him a crack at the MSW level? Something's a little off there. And then the 9 horse Paisan. Going to take a lot of money with IRAD, but this one's really going to have to pick up her game a lot to reach par for this level. Charles, I'm going to do a 50-cent trifecta box, 2, 6, 9, and 10. The floor is yours, my friend.
Well, I really like the 6 here. I'm like you. All this horse has to do is improve just a little bit, and it's race. I mean, it's dropping in class, the biggest drop, as they say, in horse racing. And guess what? First time gelding. And
gonna run mad.
Gonna run mad. And your trainer is Ward, and he gets 27% of 46 plus days of rest. Tyler Gaffleon is aboard. This horse is 100% bred for the turf, which I know they're not doing today, but they're on the all-weather. Sometimes it's comparable. So that's why I like that horse in the top spot. And then my second choice is the 9. This horse ran second last time, third start after a layoff. Will be closing at the end. IRAD's aboard. But my question, is it going to be enough to catch that 6, I think? The 11, I believe, has the speed of the race. Well bet. Horse ran second last 3 times. But I think that's your leaders at the quarter pole. So look out there. But the question is, can he hang on? And then the 2 ran even last time out. Drops in class. Well bet. Jose Ortiz is aboard. But in my money, I would just put it on the 6 and just hope for just a little bit better effort because he got cut. And that would make me run at least a little bit faster.
Oh, yes. I'd be stomping all the way around the track. All right. So here are all of our picks for today. As Scary Creations pointed out, I'm either, look at this, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2. I might as well just, since I got the 4s and 4th, might as well just go 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, like Moses Malone, all the way down to race number 6, and then just go 2, 2 at the end, Charles. Maybe I'll go ahead and do that. If I don't do it, I know I'll regret it because I'll go back and look.
You might as well.
And that's how it'll play out for sure. All right, Charles, again, this is your last day with us. Real quickly, the free track today is at Turf Paradise. You can follow that down in the link in the description below. Once again, for those of us just joining us, we did mention that today you are going to, starting tomorrow or next week, starting on a new endeavor. We all certainly are going to root you on there. Why don't you explain to us what you're going to do again?
Basically, business development for Past the Wire. I will be doing some videos, some shows myself. And but that's going to be later in the month of March. But I'm just going to get my feet on the ground, and I got to get marketing, get some sponsors in there, come up with other marketing ideas. Just kind of build the brand a little bit. And but they're everywhere. I mean, they have interviews with top trainers, jockeys, just like we do here. But they also have news articles, at least 2 or 3 a day sometimes. And then we're doing big coverages on all the big races. So as you will know, the Derby's coming up. So that'd be one of the big ones.
So just make sure you follow along, you support Charles. We certainly do. My pleasure working with you, my friend. I've honestly learned a few things from you. I greatly appreciate that. I'll take them forward in my handicapping career. Hopefully when I win the national handicapping contest, it'll be because a horse ran at a mile and is cutting back after showing some speed in the last race. And I can go, thank you, Charles. My pleasure, my friend. As always, we wish you nothing but luck, God's grace in your new endeavor, and that it ends up, Charles, in the
winner's circle.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us, Terry. And I'll see you tomorrow, probably about 10 minutes before first post tomorrow, whenever that is. Have a great hump day.
See ya.